Hello, graphic symbolism. Welcome to Milestone 2. Here we are in Milestone 2, Milestone 1 complete, right? So we selected our client. We went ahead we did our introductions. We selected our client we'll be using for the course project. And we went ahead and we created our creative brief. We submitted our creative brief based on the client that we have chosen. So Milestone 2, we're going to take this research and step forward a little bit. So it's a busy week, guys. And to a very high degree, the success of this class rests firmly on the success of Milestone 2. Got a lot to cover, so let me get right to it. All right, Milestone 2, there are 3 tasks in the final submission. Okay, so let's go through the tasks. Now, I want to say that it's just important to mention at this point right now that these tasks are built on the last task. Okay, so the last thing that we did was build our creative brief, right? So Milestone 2, Task 1 instructions is based off that creative brief. Milestone 2, Task 2 is based off Milestone 2, Task 1. Milestone 2, Task 3 is based off Milestone 2, Task 2, and everything that we've done prior to that. Hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to say here is the course scaffolds off the last learning techniques, okay? So everything you've learned, you're using as a building block for which to springboard forward and build your knowledge from there, okay? So we start here and we start moving up and building based on what we've already learned. So, as I said, during Milestone 1, we developed our creative brief, right? You're going to take that creative brief, you're going to open it, you're going to put it in front of you. It's important at this point to note that it would be the revised creative brief, not the first submission, but the one after you've received comments and revised those comments. So you're going to open that. Milestone 2, Task 1. What you're going to do is this. You're going to prepare a word list. Okay, it's 20 words. It's important to know that those 20 words, 10 of them are abstract subjective traits, and 10 of those are objective qualities. Okay, so first of all, you need to know the difference between abstract, subjective. What's the difference between subjective and objective? Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your 20 words. You're going to make 10 words that are abstract, subjective traits of the client that you chose in Milestone 1, right? And that's based on that little bit of research that was given about the client, all right? So again, 10 words that represent these abstract, subjective traits of the client, and then 10 words representing the objective qualities. This is going to be a total of 20 words, right? Again, it's 10 abstract, subjective traits, 10 objective qualities. Okay, it's really important, and take your time with this. Really make these words make sense, guys. You should be able to look at these words, think it through. Okay, think it through. It's going to work. This process will work, but you've got to take your time with it. All right. So once you develop your 20 words, here's a nice little. These are some questions that you can ask yourself to really assist you if you get stuck in those words. And I would expect you to get stuck. You know, it's not an easy task to go ahead and say, I'm going to create 10 words that are abstract subjective traits and then 10 words that are objective qualities. So plan on taking some time with this. Okay, and here's some questions to help you should you get caught. All right, so you're going to save your list as a Microsoft Word document, and you're going to submit it using this naming convention. All right, that's task 1. You will submit task 1. You'll receive feedback on task 1. If your feedback says, hey, this is great, you're ready to go ahead and use this for your final submission, it means that there's no adjustments recommended, but you do still have to turn in that task 1 with your final submission. Whether there are recommendations for improvement or not, you still have to turn it in. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Milestone 2, Task 2. All right, so in this task, you're going to create thumbnails exploring the selected elements of your client's identity. That's exploring the encoded elements of the client's identity. Okay, so these are thumbnail sketches that are based on the words that you prepared for Milestone 2, Task 1, right? So you'll need to prepare a thumbnail sketch for every word listed in the word list. That's 20 words, right? So what you're going to do is we need there's 40 sketches here, guys. There's a lot of sketching that's going to happen here, but there's 40 sketches. So you have 20, you take your word list, your 20 words, and you give me, out of those 20 words, you sketch one each out, giving a pictorial representation. Okay, then you're going to go back for each of the 20 words, and you're going to give an abstract representation. What's the difference between pictorial and an abstract? Let's say we use the word tree. Okay, a pictorial representation of a tree is exactly that. It's a tree with branches and leaves, and it's what you see when you think of tree. Abstract would be a graphic representation of a tree that doesn't necessarily look like a tree. Okay, let's use another example, fire. For example, fire would be, the pictorial representation would be a sketch of the fire with flames and maybe some logs and a proper fire, right? But an abstract representation of fire might be 3 red triangles of different sizes, okay? Do you see what I mean? Now, it's important to note at this point, there's no right or wrong here, guys. All right, this is all based on your abstract representations and your pictorial representations of the words. Okay, 20 words, so we need 20 sketches of pictorial and 20 of abstract. Okay, you've got a thumbnail sketch template over here too that you can use. I would use it. It's all set up ready to go. So definitely use that. Okay, so that is task 2. Now let's jump over to task 3. Milestone 2, task 3 is right here. Okay, so what you're going to do now is, based on your feedback for all those sketches, you're going to select one sketch that's abstract, and you're going to finalize that. You're going to select one of your pictorial sketches and one of your abstract sketches. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take that, and you're going to work that out to completion. So you're going to develop your logo based on your sketches, and you're going to use Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so again, the process so far is taking your word list, then your 20 words, and then you're going to take your 20 words and you're going to sketch those out, pictorial and abstract. Okay, each word, total of 40 sketches. We're going to look at those sketches. We're going to pick one pictorial example and one abstract example, and you're going to render those out in Adobe Illustrator to a complete finished logo. Okay, and that's task 3. Then for your final submission, here's what you have. You're going to take all 3 of these tasks, Milestone 2, Task 1, Task 2, and Task 3. That means you're going to take your word list, your sketches, and your final logos, and you're going to, when you submit those task submissions, you'll receive feedback. It's important at this point to note that your final submission should be reflective of the feedback you receive. All right. If you receive great feedback, you still have to turn in the final task. Okay. So let's say Milestone 2, Task 1, your word list. I say to you, this word list is great. You're ready to submit. Okay. That you still have to submit that word list for your final submission, because that's what gets graded. You don't get graded for your task. You get graded for the final submission. Okay. Now, lot to do this week, guys. A lot to do. Like I said, Milestone 1, Milestone 2, Milestone 2, Task 1, Milestone 2, Task 2, Milestone 2, Task 3, then your final submission. All right, so listen, guys, this can get a little confusing. If you need to review this video, please do so. Please go through these milestones 2, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as it takes you to really get this locked in so you can follow this path that we're taking to this conceptual plan, this conceptual approach, this conceptual development that we're using to establish a conceptual and methodological approach to our logo development. Again, it entails word maps, sketches, selecting your sketches for final rendering. Okay. All right, guys. Whoa, that was a mouthful, right? Any questions, let me know, okay, guys? But really plan on doing some work this week, because we've got a busy, busy week this week. All right, so any questions, comments, concerns at all, please let me know as soon as possible. All right, guys. Thank you.